So something else that's been happening throughout the pandemic is that actual experts have been writing newspapers and writing news agencies and saying, look, the stuff being pushed in your publications, on your newscasts, even by public health officials, is not accurate, and this consistently happens. Friendly reminder, in the very first Senate hearing where Fauci and Senator Paul got into it, which was not a public hearing, Senator Paul is the one that suggested using a steroidal treatment for people who are on ventilators, and Fauci said, we've tried that, it doesn't work. Guess what treatment works and is extremely effective on ventilated patients with COVID? And all of those people who are on ventilators who died as a result from the media ignoring the doctors telling you stop putting them on ventilators to ignoring that treatment, that is now the standard treatment for people on ventilators. And Dr. Rand Paul, Senator, United States, he's the one that suggested it early in the pandemic. Fauci is the guy that told him it didn't work and it was a bunch of garbage. All of those people died because Fauci did not listen to that recommendation. So there's an immunologist who has demanded that the Wall Street Journal editorial board retract a, quote, dangerous lie about COVID immunity. Now, we have been over this. The international data makes it crystal clear. If you have had COVID, you're good. Your immunity right now is great against all variants, and it surpasses all vaccinations. That's what all of the data shows. The Wall Street Journal took it upon themselves with no scientific reasoning behind it whatsoever, because again, everybody's opinion means something now, and they decided to write an op-ed about this in the editorial that if you've previously had COVID, you're not protected against the Delta variant. Where's this coming from? Because it's not published in any scientific literature anywhere in the world. I've looked. The exact opposite is published, though. Wall Street Journal editorial board has published an absolute falsehood regarding the susceptibility of COVID-recovered and immune Americans as to subsequent infection. The letter demanding a correction or retraction was sent to the editorial board and a few prominent Wall Street Journal reporters. So again, this immunologist, today I was shocked to read what I know with 100% certainty as an immunologist and physician is a lie in the Wall Street Journal's editorial board op-ed on COVID-19. Specifically, your colleagues are stating the following falsehood. Quote, previously infected individuals appear to be more susceptible to reinfection by the Delta variant, which could explain some of the rising cases. This is a complete lie. It doesn't come from a single medical source. It doesn't come from a scientific source. This is a bunch of egghead reporters or columnists getting together and writing a bunch of crap that they literally pulled out of their backside. None of it's true. And so this immunologist writes in, he's like, this is 100% false. You need to retract this. Your average dopehead out there is going to be reading the Wall Street Journal and going, oh man, I'm more susceptible now? No. You know what some of the data shows? Which is another reason why we may have a higher level of fully vaccinated people getting infected with the Delta variant. And I told you this the moment the Delta variant hit Europe. You remember this? Fully vaccinated people might actually be more susceptible to the Delta variant. Do you know where that study came from? The Israeli government. The Israeli government specifically tested the Pfizer vaccine because the country only used the Pfizer vaccine. And the Israeli government study showed that those who were fully vaccinated with the Pfizer vaccine seemed to be more susceptible to the Delta variant than those who were not. Okay, and I told you at the time, this is really preliminary. This is not peer-reviewed. I'm just letting you know for the information's sake. Israel is now the country where 60% of its infections are from people who are fully vaccinated with Pfizer. And the Wall Street Journal is writing the exact opposite, and they're not getting it from anybody with any medical credentials. They're just making it up. So when somebody reads the Wall Street Journal, if they think in any way, shape, or form the Wall Street Journal's editorial board is credible, they've now been told, if you've previously had COVID, congratulations, you're more susceptible to Delta, which is a complete and total lie. So they demanded a retraction. Of course, they haven't done it. You remember me telling you about people who that initial preliminary study, you remember me telling you about that in Israel? About how they seem to show that the Delta variant actually targets people who are vaccinated with Pfizer? And it was a very small, they only did like 2 or 3 dozen people. Very, very small initial sample size. Wasn't peer reviewed. I made that crystal clear on the show several times. But now Israel, 60% of their new infections, 60% are people who are fully vaccinated. And the Wall Street Journal is just making crap up? Now, let me ask you just a parting question before I go. If a newspaper publishes the exact opposite of medical and scientific fact, jeopardizing the health and welfare of their readers, are they the enemy of the people?